Hi, I thought I would go over one of my little coding projects that I recently finished. Um, this project, it's for a way to visually see your PDF or epub files, which are assumed to be books in a directory. So I'll just quickly go over visually what that's like. So this page is supposed to be like a floor plan. I'll go over that later. So let's look at fantasy. So these are supposed to be book spines, and these book spines are based on the files that you have, theoretically. So this is all theoretical. So if you have a lot of epub files or book files, then this is supposed to show you the spine version and also give you the book cover and some details on its genres, the pages, the year it was first published, the file name it was under, and the author, and some other things. So I can go over how it starts. So you start by going to settings and entering the path that has all your book files. So put that in, you click save, and you go over to the scanner, and the scanner is going to scan all the books, the book files in this folder. And then what that's going to do is there's going to be a database. So I can show you that. So it's going to be a database where it fills in. It doesn't fill in the author and such yet. Those are going to be blank, but it basically just fills in these two. So the file name and the search keywords. So actually it's sometime. What did I do? I think if it's first name comma or last name comma first name, then it will actually fill in the author name, which I did have a lot of difficulty with because I mean, as you can see in a group of a bunch of file names, everyone's going to have their own file name format. It might be series name first, it might be author's name first. I'm not sure if it's easy to see, but so you can see, yeah, this one's name, series, and then title. Some of these are title and then author. Some of these are author but it doesn't have the comma. So it was a pretty big challenge. That's one of the bigger challenges, I guess. So, whoops. So yeah, so first thing it does is it'll scan the books. So these three columns, and based on the search or the file name, it will try to cut it, sanitize it a bit to create the search keyword. Now with the search keyword, we're going to go over to the lookup. So we have a few thousand sample file names in our database, and there is a fetch metadata. So the fetch is against openlibrary.org, which I believe is a part of the archive.org ecosystem. Well, the way I do it is going to be through the CLI, because if you do it in the browser, then it's just going to be a loading screen, whereas if you do it in a terminal, then you'll see the live log of the books being found or not found. It's kind of fun to watch that run. So Open Library, that's another challenge with Open Library is And first of all, is that a spider? That little baby spider on my desk. The challenge with Open Library is, first of all, if you use a VPN, they do try to block VPNs, but also, if, say that I do have a page of not found books, so that these were apparently not found, and we don't know if it was not found because there were no results or not found because there was a network issue, because like Web Archive, Open Library is also very laggy and drops requests randomly. So let's say the search term by default was this Brandon Sanderson book, which I doubt has 0 results. So once we'll have the little network thing open. Once we try to look for it, we should see a result eventually. There you go. Again, it's very slow. So this is the request. So if we open that in a new tab, so this is the JSON that we get every time. So we found 2 results, and unfortunately the first result title is like it's not a very clean name, so it's like a signed copy of something, so it has asterisk signed and double novella. So clearly this isn't the one we would want anyway, but it's the one that it would get on Open Library. Me and Claude, because I did do this on Claude Code. No matter what we try with the relevance or additions or anything like that, it's very difficult to get the first book. So we'd want the second result, but there's really no way to do that, really. So, I mean, if you say first published, it would work in this instance, but for example, sometimes it'll search book contents. So I remember there was like a Stephen King book that if you look up first published, then it's going to give you the Bible for some reason, which is pretty goofy, but relevance keyword search is the only one that we could use. If we go back, so yeah, so for the ones it finds, it's going to, like I said, it's going to find the book cover. It's going to fill in the book title, and hopefully that's correct. And yeah, it's going to get the year, number of pages. This is the median number of pages, and the genres. And it would have been nice if there's a one-click option to open the book file. It might be possible, but it is a bit tricky through the web browser to just execute programs, because obviously that's a security issue. So for me, it's a terminal command to open the theoretical file. So that was going to open in your default file book file browser, PDF viewer. So yeah, so there's the like I said, there's a floor plan view. This is the primary view that I wanted to set up. It looks a bit goofy on first look because you just see these 2 graphics. It is supposed to be like a floor plan, so it's a bit of a quirky floor plan, but I thought it'd be cool if there's like a couch and like a beanbag against this wall. And then these are the shelves with the genres. They are grouped by kind of a general category. And I always remember the children's books at the library being in its own little area. So put children's books in its own little shelf. And then these 3 are supposed to be tables where, you know, people can study and all that. And our little welcome mat. The welcome mat, it's got the Iron King from Dark Souls 2, which I just played. Good game. So that's a rug there. I do also have the books just the general books list view, so you can look up books by their file name or their title or the author. You can sort these. I don't. If I was to use this, I don't think I would use this page much because the entire purpose is to be able to browse books. Kind of like Plex for videos, I suppose, because I think in Plex you can kind of browse by covers. And that's kind of like looking through, a library book shelf. Um, yeah, so it has some traits, the spines. So I do have the file name appearing at the top. I guess that's not really necessary. It was just for me to check if it's actually getting the right files on first glance. So, yeah, I did set up a few styles for it. I do like how it turned out. So there's the lines, there's the pattern, there's pattern 2, there's the sideways if the book title's 2 words or less, there's the stripy view, and so on. If you just scroll normally, it's going to scroll sideways. It's a big chunky scroll bar. The heights are random, but the widths are generally based on the number of pages. So like in a library, from first glance, you can tell which book is going to be many pages and which are short. So yeah, and you can kind of browse through it, ordered by author, of course. So yeah, it's kind of, I think it's cool. It is much better than looking through a file explorer, just looking at file names. I'm sure you can do something in the program Calibre, but the couple of times I've used that software, I found it to be a bit, it's too clunky. Not in a bad way, I mean, it is free software. It's a bit clunky and hard to set up, so as a programmer usually does, they'll just build their own stuff. So that's what I did here, even though, you do have to use a terminal to open the book, but that's also very programmer-esque, I suppose. I would say another feature would be the series. So obviously, you're going to want... So you can see this one didn't really work out. But conceptually, you'd want a series to be the same height and the same style. So I did try to do that. This is actually based on folder structure though, rather than a file name, because the file names are just too random. They're too random, so if the user has series in a folder, then it's just going to take the folder name, and then it'll take into account the series number, and it'll show those there. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that general view. Rift War. Yes, there's some very long series in this sample data. Yeah, it's just fun to, scroll through, kind of appreciate book titles, book covers, I mean, and kind of look through authors, series, kind of see what kind of books you might have. Yeah. If I was to extend it, I mean, obviously it'd be nice to have a Bible. So these are gonna be, oh no, these are Bibles. I didn't get the exact edition, but it is hard to get the exact edition. English boys. Thomas, it's probably was Thomas. But yeah, so it would be nice if it was just like a one-click open. Maybe if you make it into a, what is it called? Electron app, but I strongly dislike electron or the concept of that because I'm old, but that's okay. Yeah, so that would be cool. Obviously a better way to filter or sanitize the search terms would be great. But otherwise, I am pretty happy with it. Yeah, it's very fun to browse through.